Hey everybody. I recently did a track night here at PittRace, an event that I normally enjoy immensely. The team putting on the event provided a great on and off track experience as they always do. Unfortunately, I just brought the wrong mindset to the event and had a bad evening out there on my own. I still maintain that one team attitude that makes these events so great. I don't think I impeded anyone or ruined any of the sessions, but I just had a really bad time out there in the context of my own performance. Um, Rather than just show up and try to improve lap to lap like I normally do, I came to that event with a specific goal of setting a specific new fastest lap in this car with these tires. A goal that's actually 5 seconds faster than I've ever done it before, which may have bit off a bit more than I can chew there. Um, I've been doing a bunch of track weekends throughout the summer at different venues around the country, and really felt that I learned a lot about car control and line reading, and there's a lot of theories and practice I wanted to put into play, and really just come back to my home track and just smash what I had done before. Yeah, it's just totally the wrong mindset to come into this. Um, as we'll see, I was mistaken and immediately began overdriving the car as soon as I got some clear track. Again, this is the 10th time I've been at PittRace, and I've never had four wheels off. And tonight I've done it 3 times. So let's have a look and see where I went wrong. So it's pretty obvious going through that complex there by the tire squealing and the slip angle I was achieving pretty early there that I was just overdriving the car. It's not too surprising. It's the first session of the night, first lap without any real traffic ahead of me, and I hadn't quite acclimated back yet. I'm not too upset about that. I could have caught that slide if I'd opened my hands sooner, turned the wheel back to the right. It would not have been terribly faster there, but I wouldn't have gone off course and bought that cone. Really, I was just trying to do too much too early, and again, not too upset there because that happens from time to time. This next off is me blowing a braking zone. It's just plain stupid because it was a lack of focus. Coming out of sector one, I see my lap timer blow up green with almost 4 seconds on top of my time. I was just doing mental math, trying to figure out what my lap time was going to be and what I would need to do the rest of the lap to achieve that. And as you'll see, I did not start applying the brake almost basically at the one marker, which is way late. There's no way I can roll that much speed through that turn. I saw what I did and went ahead and just went off rather than trying to save it and slide through the corner and create an issue with all that Armco on either side. Um, Once I saw that I wasn't going to be able to rejoin safely, I bailed back out of that and ended up rejoining later on down the track just to make sure those guys can get around without me impeding their progress. Again, pretty embarrassed on this one because I should have been focused, kept my eyes up, looking at brake markers, trying to find my brake point, and working on trail braking. Instead, I just blew right through it completely and ran off course and was very lucky. It wasn't more of a problem in terms of damage. That second off in the first session effectively ended my session. I went in and talked to the coach, who was extremely helpful, and just parked it to wait for second session to come around and try to get my head together a little better. Unfortunately, this second session ended up being really short. I think I only made it around twice. Uh, My plan, once I got open track, was to break down into 12 and go full throttle up through 13 and 14 to maximize my run down through 15 and 16 and get as much speed out of that back straight as I could. What ultimately ended up happening is by deciding to go full throttle regardless of any other input cues, I went up over the crest and turned a little hard to the right to make the apex and overloaded the outside wheel. And it's very, very subtle um, how it turned out. My steering input's nearly identical to the previous lap, but that little bit of extra speed that I carried up over the crest was enough to knock out the left rear traction. And I just looped it around and ended up going down the hill backwards through the field, and was really embarrassed about all of it, especially having been in to talk to the coach twice already. I was not looking forward to driving back. Let's take a look and see how that happened, and then I'll compare it to the previous lap. So again, my decision to try to carry full throttle through there and not do my normal little lift had a very different result this time around. It's a very, very, very subtle change. I didn't spot it at first until I talked to some friends about what might have happened, and looked at the video side by side. But that is the best bet of what might have happened there. So let's look at the split screen, and I'll show you just how close the inputs actually are. Um, Unfortunately, I don't have a very high resolution throttle data or braking data to show you that, but I think it's enlightening either way. So watching this, my biggest takeaway here is that I need to not predetermine what I'm going to do in corners. I need to just listen for cues, try to figure out what the car is telling me, and in this case, maybe if I'd opened my hands up a little sooner and done the small lift, I would have been able to catch that little bit of slide and actually use it to my advantage rather than fighting it. There was no damage to the car other than it tore some of the under tray out of its fasteners. That's why I had to pull it in and get that fixed up before the third session. I was lucky not to tear the radiator off, but by the way it had gone through, it looked like it may have bent some of the support, but everything in there was intact. Really, really super job there by the car. So this is my third session and my fastest lap of the night. I ended up hitting essentially what was my goal time with no drama whatsoever. Basically, without thinking about it and just driving the car and managing traffic, I was able to hit the goal I was shooting for. It would have been maybe a second faster if I hadn't been impeded by the traffic at the end there. I didn't get a point by that I maybe should have, but overall, it was nice to at least get a decent lap in and prove that I wasn't completely off base the entire night. Just by going back to fundamentals and working on that, I was able to put together a nice clean lap that I can at least be somewhat proud of.